cool little spot, huh? Shoot.
Yeah, it was a good spot.
So back to the V12 versus the V8. So the V8, here's everyone who test drove the two different cars that I saw in other reviews. They're like, the V8 is better because it's more balanced, more of a 50-50 distribution, weight distribution. It's less horsepower, but it seems to handle better because it's lighter, right? Mm-hmm. I would argue that this thing's more fun because it's got the heavy V12 lump in front, because it makes the sounds it makes, and because the back is lighter. As you can see, we spin all the time because it's not quite a 50-50.
Yeah. For me, I mean, there's no question that like a V8 DB11, that's an awesome car.
Yeah, AMG makes a great engine.
They do, and Aston does a great job of delivering a good product, and they're not going to make something terrible like that.
No.
So it isn't really about, is the V8 DB11 a good car or not? Because it's a great car.
Yeah.
But there's something still about a V12.
Yeah.
Especially for an Aston Martin. Front engine. Well, front mid-engine.
Yeah.
But there's just something just really quintessential about that I just think is part of the mystique of the brand, part of its legacy. And while the V8s do sound good, they don't sound as good as the V12.
No, yeah, I mean, it's definitely an AMG sound, right?
Sure.
This sounds totally different than the V8, than the AMG V8.
Right.
And the AMG V8 to me, and we've talked about this, it sounds a little too overdone on the exhaust note to me. I know a lot of people love the AMG sound. I'm just not there. I like that this feels naturally aspirated until the turbo kicks in and you, like, the back end just goes crazy. But initially, when you push on it on a regular gear, it feels kind of naturally aspirated. There's so little boost in the stock configuration, right? But that's what's also great about this V12. It's so tunable. So look at the Superleggera, right? 715 brake horsepower, slight tune. That's all they did. No change to anything else, right?
Yeah.
Velocity AP, we talked about this in the other video. Sport Cats and a tune. This thing's 750 brake horsepower, and that's an estimate because they couldn't get it to stop spinning its wheels on the dyno. So they're like, it's probably 750, but we don't know for sure.
That's awesome.
Because it's just ripping up the dyno.
That's awesome.
And Aston Martin told me, and I don't know if this is supposed to be publicly known, but I'm going to say it anyway. They tuned this engine up just to see what they could get out of it. 1,100 brake horsepower out of this engine, right, with just a tune. No change to internals.
Just a tune?
Just a tune. So the headroom on this thing is massive. Now, if you tune this thing up to 1,100 horsepower on this transmission, it'd tear the transmission in half.
Yeah, and the transmission's different in a DBS, right?
That's what I thought. But then I said that to a guy at Aston Martin. I asked him that question, and he was like, nah. Like, it's pretty much the same transmission. So we could go tune this with Velocity AP and have more horsepower than a DBS Superleggera.
Oh, that sounds like a fantastic idea.
Yeah, but it's almost unusable how it is at 600 horsepower. You've driven it. You say you love this car.
Yeah, so for me, the thing was, and maybe this would be something that I would kind of tell the viewers, is that you can read up on the car, right? You can get the stats and stuff. And Aston's stats typically don't impress the way that the other competitor cars are at that time, right? And that's the first thing you have to understand about Aston Martin is that when you're getting into that brand, you're not buying it because it's got the best stats.
Right.
You're not buying it because it makes the most sense. You're buying it because it's an Aston Martin. And there's so much more that goes along with that. And for me, a big part of that is the lifestyle type things that Aston does to it's more than buying a car. You're really buying a brand. And for those that have never, driven one of these, they've just read up on it and stuff, and then they dismiss it off of the stats.
Yeah.
They're missing what it's really all about.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm reminded of that every time I get in an Aston Martin. But this car in particular,
Yeah.
I was not prepared for it to be as capable as it was.
Right.
I was not prepared for it to be as fast as it was. I mean, because nobody's talking about this car, really. I mean,
Yeah.
this isn't being talked about. It's a few years old now. You know, new cars are grabbing the headlines and stuff. But this car really is, I think, an amazing bargain when you talk about a front mid-engine V12
Yeah.
that can do what this car does, have the different drive modes, be comfortable, but also a completely capable sports car, and you're doing that for just a little over 100 grand.
Yeah. I mean,
It's crazy to talk about that as a budget or as
Yeah, I mean,
as
that's a
a
little-
deal,
yeah.
but it really is. I mean, what other V12s?
can you pick up for that price?
Yeah,
I mean, you're
it's this new.
yeah, right, because you're talking like
Yeah.
Mercy. You can pick up a Mercy for 150-ish,
Right.
right? That's still
Well,
more than we paid for this. We paid 130 for this.
Yeah.
And yeah, where do you get a V12 with 600 horsepower for that kind of a price? I couldn't walk into a Mercedes dealership or an Audi dealership, and you can drop 130 easy in any one of those on a new car, right? This is a 2017. I couldn't do that and know that this thing exists, and I didn't buy it instead.
Yeah.
It would hurt.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, test driving one. That was the
That was an eye opener.
that was the eye opener. That was the aha moment. Was
And you didn't realize it, so I was driving it and being like, whoa, and you don't know what I'm saying. I'm not putting in that much input, but you just have to trust me saying that. You got in the driver's seat and experienced the same thing. And you're like, whoa,
Yeah, you gotta be straight.
Like, you have to feel so little pressure on the accelerator, and the thing is just like gone and spinning on you.
but
And
yet really comfortable too at the same time.
it's super comfortable.
It's like, you know, when we're in the McLaren,
Yeah.
that's a fast car.
It is.
It's a very fast car.
Yep.
And much faster than this car.
Yep.
And when you're in that car, even when you're not fully using all of it,
Yeah.
and so we're getting it close to what this car does,
Yeah.
it feels different because we're in what I feel is a very, very raw sports car.
It is. Agreed.
In this car, there's like, I don't know if it's sound dampening or if it's the comfort of the seats or if it's all of the,
Yeah.
the jewelry and the stitching and all the stuff that's in here, or if it's the ride, if it's all of that, but it feels like I'm like comfortably being transported at warp speed.
Yeah. Easily.
It's crazy how that is.
And like we were talking about, in this price range, is there anything else you would buy instead for 130?
I mean, that's
and
tough.
anything you can
Anything.
name anything. You want to be a little more sporty. You want to be a little more GT.
That's hard because I don't have a McLaren.
Oh, that's a really good point. Like if you had 130, 140, you'd probably go look for a used 570.
Yeah, if I can find somebody who's like really loved a 570 too much and put too many miles on it.
Yeah, high mileage 570.
High mileage 570.
I could see that because that is a really, really good car. It's a totally different car.
Totally different car. So, but let me wind that all the way back. Let me qualify the question a little differently. If I had no fun cars
Yeah.
and I was going to get a first fun car and I had 100 grand, a little bit more, absolutely this car.
This one right here?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Over 570.
Huh.
I would if I could only have one.
Except you did choose a Gallardo instead, but that's because you already have an Aston.
It's because I already have an Aston in the garage. Yes.
Yeah.
And the Gallardo was.
But I see what you're saying.
80
though.
grand.
If you had nothing and
If
you
I-
wanted the best of both worlds.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and
This is the car.
and that's why I pick it.
Yeah.
Because this is the kind of car that, from all aspects,
Yeah.
you can daily drive this thing.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, I can take this to the office and drive it comfortably and take customers in it, and it's not going to be a big deal. They're going to be impressed by it. It's going to be fun. It's a very rewarding car to drive, but it's also not going to kill you on maintenance. See, I'm like full on having a conversation as we're getting warp speed.
Jesus. Okay. Again, on camera, that's a lot. Oh wait, I'll have to kill that back camera.
We just won't show that.
It so easily like accelerates. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like nothing for this thing. it'll happily cruise at triple digits.
Yeah, I think that's what I like best about this car. In the end, for me, is that it does everything well.
Yeah.
It's sporty enough, it's luxurious enough and comfortable enough that it just does everything well.
So a lot of people, I've been asked that question. If you had to get rid of all your cars and just keep one, which would it be? Out of all the cars that we have together, right? A couple Vantages, DB11, Gallardo, 720S, 458 Spider, Maserati Gran Turismo. What do you say?
I'm taking this.
I'm taking this.
I'm taking this.
I'm with you too. I think I keep this one.
And there's people who are going to hate us on Freelo for that because they're going to have their preferences and they're going to be like, why would you not pick the 720?
Close second would be 720.
720 is an amazing car. It's an amazing car.
And the only reason 720 wouldn't be my top choice is the amount of mechanical and electrical issues long term. Believe it or not, and we're driving an Aston Martin here, we're saying that Aston Martin is more stable of a platform as far as repairs and whatnot than McLaren.
Time will tell on the DB11, but the Vantage has been one of the best cars I've owned.
And that's the thing, people bag on Aston Martin all the time, like, oh, it'll break down. Dude, you've got how many miles on yours?
I'm at 108.
I'm at 86. Feo's at what?
120, something like that.
120,000 miles on his Vantage, and they're just going strong. Based on that information alone, I would take this over the 720.
Right, so here's the crazy thing. I've got 3 sports cars. I've got my Vantage, 108,000 miles.
Okay.
I've got my newly purchased to me, about 10-year-old Gallardo.
Yeah. Randall,
that has just under 40,000 miles.
Yeah.
I've got a Mustang, a Shelby GT Mustang, 2007.
Yeah.
With 57,000 miles. Take a guess at which one has been the most unreliable and the most expensive to maintain to this point.
The Shelby.
The Shelby.
Really?
For serious.
I guessed that because I thought surely it couldn't be.
It absolutely is. That's my point. It's like half the miles. It's the same age as the Vantage.
Yeah.
And it's been easily more to maintain than the Vantages. I kid you not. The front ball joints, totally failure. Had to be redone. The suspension had to be redone. The stupid, dumb things, like the stupid vinyl stripes they put on that car.
Yeah.
I've replaced those twice. Have to do it a 3rd time. Each time you replace those stripes, labor, pulling them off, putting new ones on, putting all the ones back on. You're like $3,000 each time. I'm telling you, I'm not talking about brakes or clutches or wearable parts. I'm talking about failures on the vehicle.
Yeah.
The Shelby Mustang has been the most expensive to maintain.
Yeah. Now you've had better luck with your Vantage than me, because I've had fuel delivery problems that were hard to diagnose.
You did have that one gremlin.
Yeah, I had that one gremlin, and it was before Aston had released the software for the car, and so we were just guessing. We went through new fuel pump, throttle body, all the stuff, and it turned out to be a $40 part off an 05 Mustang fuel rail sensor, and that fixed it.
Yeah.
So I mean, but now that the diagnosis software is available, you can hook your meter up, plug that in, take a look at what it's, what the issue is, and then go find the Jaguar, Ford, Volvo part and fix it yourself.
You know what my most unreliable part has been on the Vantage?
So
fails time after time after time. My most unreliable failure part is the gas struts on the doors.
Yep. Yeah.
I just ordered another set, which we have to do. We have to make a video for that.
Yeah, replace the struts.
$60. $60 and it's done. It's fixed.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll buy gas struts all day long.
Yeah, but it's a pain to get them in there. Like, you have to take the whole wheel off. You have to take off the wheel liner, and then you have to like reach in there and redo the strut.
So it's gonna be a good video.
Yeah, it sucks though.
You're like, you don't want to do it.
I hated it.
You don't want to do it.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I know how to do it because I've done it once already.
All right.
But
well, you need to let me know if we're gonna do that or if it needs to go to the shop.
No, we can do it. We can do it. We can save the
Begrudgingly.
shop time. Yeah.
Begrudgingly.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
It'll be a long video. It'll take forever.
Better time lapse that one.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
All right.